Hi,
Finally.
holy smokes.
I was telling my wife, let's do it on the demo one, me and Asil alone.
Hi, Professor. How are you doing?
Good, great. And you, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining. I mean, I'm joining
really
you
happy
now.
to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much for this nice invitation. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you so much and have more impact in my life than you think. I've said this before to you and I just told your wife about it. To start with this little story, I really thought you are one of the best of my mentors, you know? So I really enjoyed the sustainability class. You have noticed me enjoying. You sent me to sustainability summer school. I met my husband.
Yeah.
So you're the directrice. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And big hi to Ali also, and I hope he's fine.
He says hi to you as well. So we have to discuss. First of all, can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes,
that's
of course. Yeah, thank you very much, Asil, first of all, and Happy New Year to you and to Ali and to everybody here, to the whole world as well. As you know, my name is Taher and I'm an interior designer and an academic instructor in Ajman University, and I'm currently running my career as an academic and at the same time doing from time to time some projects outdoor. Now I'm the head of department in interior design, Ajman University, where I started my degree there in Ajman University, and then I continued my master and now my Ph.D. in different places. This is briefly about me.
Your journey is very impressive, and I want to know where it started from. Can you tell us, when did you know you wanted to be an interior designer? Was there like an epiphany or a big moment, or was it just a choice?
Well, I'm good in art. I love art. I love drawing.
Nice.
Actually, I started my first year as an architect.
At
the
really?
time, I was an architect. I started as an architect, and then suddenly I met a group of nice people in Ajman University. I recall this, it was in 2003. Maybe they are watching us also. Zaid, Muhammad, and Ahmad. They are very amazing people. I met them there in Ajman University, and they were studying interior design. So by coincidence, I told them, "Do we have interior design here?" They said yes. I was not aware that there was interior design in the university. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And here where my journey starts, actually. They are very amazing people. And I joined with them the year after. I finished my 4 years studying there in Ajman University. Then I worked for a couple of months in the market. During my study also, I was working in the market. Since my second year, actually, I started in one fit-out company in Sharjah, and then I shifted to an international company in Dubai. Then I graduated. I worked for a couple of months in international companies, and then back to education. I was offered to be a teaching assistant. At that time, I was honored to meet you all guys, to meet your group also. And,
that was amazing, honestly. Thank you so much for teaching us so many valuable things.
Thank you.
Always have passion. I think when a mentor teaches you and they have the passion, it's completely infectious. It makes you want to study. I remember lighting. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have studied lighting as hard if it wasn't for you. I just because you enjoyed explaining it, and that's all what matters, honestly. So did you always want to go into the academic road on teaching?
Well, actually, when I was practicing interior design in the market, I never thought about going in this direction. But once I was offered to be a teaching assistant, I found myself really happy with this experience because, like you were saying, you have to give, but from the other side, the people has to show potential also and to show interest. And what I have really seen from the student in Ajman University, especially in interior design, that they are really interested. And one of the biggest example is, mashallah, you, Asil. And now you are mentoring, you are leading in interior design, you are doing a great job. So
thank you.
This is something that also encouraged me to continue in education. But as you know, interior design is something that you cannot just rely on your academic experience. You should practice, you should explore, You should always search new things in order to deliver this experience to the generations to come. And I always say this to my students, I would like to learn from you also. And I consider myself today, I'm learning from you guys. You are doing great.
That's amazing. I mean, keeping an open mind is everything. And I feel like our job lines up with being a doctor, okay, in a very different way. But the doctors have to always learn new techniques, new things, and stay updated. I know it's not the same, but it just feels the same. We also diagnose spaces.
Yeah.
So also, I wanted to ask you, like, if for 2022, right now, what do you see as career potential or career paths for interior designers studying interior design, self-learning, or students in university?
Well, you know, interior design became very, very, well-known major, let's say, and famous major nowadays. Actually, it's very open to different career paths, different topics. Sustainability in interior design is a very trendy nowadays career path. Residential project, healthcare projects. We are also lucky to be living in a country like the United Arab Emirates, where they have a very great urban sprawl and expansion. Tourism, new projects, buildings are always going on, development. So residential, commercial, healthcare is getting a very high attention recently in the United Arab Emirates. Landscape also. I recall one of your videos one time in 2018. Actually, I'm following also your channel on YouTube, and I also...
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, I'm very
So you speak about interior design in a very, very professional way, because, you know, our major is something that it has a lot to explore, and you keep daily exploring new things, and you daily explore new opportunities, new education. You said once that I remember you were teaching them how to do some sketches and so on to develop your sketch. Yeah, it was in 2018, this video. You mentioned something that you don't have to be limited to a certain rule. Just do it freely, do it with love, and you will figure out that you are developing after a certain time. Yeah. So I liked how you expressed your video and the way you talk about the sketching.
Oh my God!
You know, you are always a great example to my students in the class.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. And also, honestly, like I want to share something with you, since you're one of like most influential mentors. I receive messages like every single day from universities all over the world, like Michigan University, universities in the United States, Canada. They're sharing the concept video. I have how to create an interior design concept video on my YouTube channel. And it blows my mind. It once reached Malaysia as well, and I can't comprehend it. So it's all thanks to seeds that you guys put in us. You put this passion, and interior design is about passion. Don't you agree?
Yes, definitely. It's about passion. It's about also, you have to be involved in this domain in a very creative way. You have to be dedicated. You have to give time. You have to practice the technique. You can do it your own way. Like you said, again, I recall your video. You say you can do it your own way. Your sketch can be your character, your charisma, your soul. So all these things, can be. It's exactly like you are doing great video now, and you are always showing us great live videos on Instagram.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I really appreciate it more than you think. I really, really appreciate your kindness, and I appreciate you being one of my mentors. So I actually wanted to ask you, since you are the head of department, you're the head of interior design department in Ajman University, was the university that I graduated from. I have a lot of friends from there as well. So I wanted to ask you, for students, what is your biggest advice? This is one of my most asked questions every single time I go live. I put on the Q&A. what kind of advice do you give to students to improve their study experience, to improve their daily life, you know, and to improve their marks?
Yes,
Great.
yeah, that's a great question, Asil. Thank you for that. And I'm always exposed to this question. I always mention something very clear to the student. The university and the degree program will give you the keys. Yeah, you have to develop and search and look for the doors to explore more and more and to develop yourself. Again, the university can help you on the business side to find a job, or they can nominate you to some companies and so on. But again, it's related to your passion in interior design. What do you want to be? Where do you want to be after a certain period of time, after 4 years, after these? You always have to set a plan for yourself. So my advice is always to keep looking at technology. Nowadays, it's very major part in our life. Look at technology, look at new software, latest software, look at materials, and you can easily learn from Asil, and you can easily learn from so many social media influencers, from famous designers, how to market and promote yourself. You have to always be in touch with people. Our major is mainly communication. You should always contact people, talk to people. Try always to have talks, participate in conference, participate in speeches, in order to, let's say, grow more and more your connection. This is what will lead you to a successful career in your domain, also in your major.
150%. I agree with you. Connections is everything, yeah. Honestly.
Exactly.
And I think you got it. You've got more of it when it comes to like students. They always struggle with this part. Like you can learn every technological software, but once you communicate with people, especially if you want to pursue being like a freelancer, or if you're working with a company, speaking to clients is very tricky. I know you have a fit-out experience, right?
Yes.
How
yes.
with clients? May I ask?
Sorry, come again. What was the last two words?
What was your experience like with clients? Did you have any stories, any kind of, you know?
Yeah. See, clients are amazing. You have always to look at them in this way. They are amazing. It's not easy. It's always challenging to deal with clients, because every person has different character, has different mindset. You know, it's not easy. That's why, you know, psychology is very important in life. You should understand the psychology of others, especially in your domain, in your major. You have to be patient. You have to listen. You have to learn how to listen to your client, and you have to accept criticism on the other side. This is something that I always tell my student. If we, as an academic or as a faculty member, we criticize your work, this doesn't mean we are criticizing your character. We are criticizing your work. So you should accept this, and you should build on that. Again, clients are not professional to criticize you, but you have to understand their psychology. It's not easy, of course, but every time you deal with a client, you will build a certain experience that, or you will learn how to overtake the other obstacles with the second and the third client, and so on. So you can show your predominancy or your control on the meetings with the client with experience, of course, with practice.
And have you? Can I ask you something a little controversial? So
yes.
Have you made any mistakes in your journey, like as a junior designer?
Definitely, lots of mistakes.
I mean, I have pretty mistakes, honestly. I can list them all for you. But
lots of mistakes. Sorry.
How did you deal with kind of mistakes that you make? Because they can be pretty devastating.
Yeah. See, when you do a mistake, of course, we don't do it intentionally. Sometimes something occurs in the site. So the easiest way is just to admit that this is your fault, and you are ready to fix it, and you are ready to take the responsibility for this mistake. This will build more, trust with your client. But if you just keep putting excuses and you throw the responsibility on someone else, definitely this will reduce the trust between you both.
True.
In the beginning, when I was still fresh in the market, I was doing mistakes. I was just listening to a very tough language from my client, and I was quiet. And so I was reporting to my boss that he spoke to me in a very tough way. He said, "It's okay, you are learning, so just keep going."
Oh wow, is that what he said?
he was telling me this. He was telling me, "Yeah, it's okay, you are learning from that, so you have to keep going." And normally till date we are doing mistakes, and this is a human. So in normal life we do mistakes. This is what will guide us to be more professional and expertise in life.
100%, that's correct. Like, that's accurate. For me, my mistakes caused me a lot of anxiety. But I didn't have like the best bosses in the world, so I had actually like a tough time navigating. And when I started freelancing, the experience was completely different, because you can't blame anybody. You just have to take the responsibility, and you're like, wusha. So that
yes.
was
very exactly.
But you learn, and there are some things that are pretty fundamental, and everybody will get their fair share of bad fortune with projects and clients, I guess. It's nothing to be scared of, right? you will move on.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, I want to ask you a question. Since you went into the academic road, okay, do you advise for us interior designers to take a master's degree? And who do you advise to take the master's degree? Do you feel like it made a difference to your life, to your quality of knowledge? What kind of, things you learned in your master's degree in sustainability?
Yes, definitely. See, I approached master degree because I told you I'm in the academia, so I need this for my career. Your question is very nice and interesting, but it remains with different categories in terms of its answer. It depends on the person himself or herself, what they are looking at exactly. A master degree is not something that it's magic, that it will change your life. No. To me, you are a master person, Asil, without having a master degree. Anyone can do master. It's not something impossible to be done. The idea is I have to look and know what I want exactly. Do I want to be a researcher? Do I want to develop my skills in the market? Do I want to be an academic? Those questions I have to ask myself before starting any step in my life. Sometimes that the destiny takes you in a certain ways or paths that it forces you to do something. Sometimes opportunities. Maybe somebody will have a chance to have a research fellowship or a scholarship in master's. Just take it, do it. So do I advise you to do master? Again, if you are interested in academia, do it. So this is the bill now. So if you are interested in the market, 4 or 5 years, you will be more than a master in interior design. I know some of my colleagues who graduated with me in the same batch. Nowadays, they are running companies, mashallah, and they are very, very professional. They are master in interior design. In the path that they took, they are master in residential projects. Some of them are master in retail. I remember my friend Zaid, I spoke about him, and Yahya. They are, mashallah, now leading a very big company in retail design. They are doing a great job dealing with very high-end brands. So I'm learning from them. Sometimes I consult them even to get some information and to learn from them and to deliver this experience to the student. So again, it depends on you, what you want to be, or where do you see yourself in the future. The magic tool is in your hand. It's not in anyone else's hand.
That's honestly very well explained. Bina, she already said it, but I really think that it's very well explained. Can I also share my answer that I say, like, you can correct me, or you can elaborate on it? I say
Please.
That because people, when they ask me about the master's degree, can you hear me, by the way? Or is my voice cutting? Thank you very much. Okay, so I say that if you want to go into academia, so you want to become, a teacher or a lecturer, or if you want to, become a professor, then you have to take the master's degree and continue on that road. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. So this is what I say. I know that what you said is very much better explained than what I just said. Okay, but what do you think about this answer? Is it accurate or is it missing core elements?
No, it's very accurate. It's very accurate. You are totally right. Again, sometimes, you know, a designer, they finish their bachelor degree in interior design, they go for master in business or in marketing. So to run the business of the interior, again, interior design is business. Yeah.
It is.
So it can be also, some people are interested to run their own project, their own companies, and they are interested to do MBA or Master of Business, which is also important. Master in Interior Design will send you to another level, of course, in life. You will be more, you know, detailed, especially if you look at certain topics to address. Like you mentioned in the beginning, I studied sustainable design. So we started to look at a very small details in our master. Now in the PhD, we are going more deeper and deeper in the topic. So eventually you cannot explore everything. Either you are studying or you are practicing interior design. You cannot explore everything. You have to be specialized in certain area, interior design.
That's 100% true. But also like technical expertise or going onto sites and things like that can also help you as an academic, right? Because you've had the experience on the site first. So when you explained to us, I remember you were in a company or you owned a company when I was with you, right? Am I correct? Yes. And you shared with us your experience, and that was very helpful because we start understanding, you know, what the actual work of interior design is and what's the business of interior design. Yeah, it's like you opened the door for us as well. So
yes, definitely.
A great mentor, and I'm so happy like you're the head of the interior design department. Honestly, like wallahi, well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
إن شاء الله منها لأعلى يا رب. I don't know how to say this. منها
Thank
لأعلى.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I also want to ask you about your inspiration. Did you have any specific inspiration? A designer, a trip, someone, something? And did that develop over the years? Can you share some of your...
See, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Actually, I never stop getting inspired in this life. I'm every day having new inspirations. I don't like to link my life to a certain character or personality in life. No, I like to be inspired by everything related to the aesthetic and beautiness in life. My wife is inspiration to me. My kid is an inspiration. My mother, my family, everybody is inspiration. My colleagues in the university, they are inspiration. You are inspiration to me, guys. My students are inspiration. Everything in life, it has to inspire us, of course, and we have to learn from it positively. Never link your life to a certain, you know, a person or only one trend. Be open to everything. Be open to any experience in life. Of course, you should follow greater experience. Like when we talk about Zaha Hadid, of course, it's a big inspiration to all of us in architecture and in the world of design. And Norman Foster, those big names, you have to learn and explore these names in your life. You have to read about them. You have to understand, because it's part of our career. But generally, everything inspires me, of course, in life. And I like to learn every day and explore things. Sometimes I'm learning from my kid, so he's teaching me sometimes. Every day, actually, he's teaching me lessons in life.
That's so sweet. And I just want to say, Ali, if you're listening, I know you are listening, Ali. See, if somebody asks you what your inspiration is, you better say your wife. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. But
that's a good one, Asil.
Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. It's such a beautiful like way of thinking about inspiration. Everything in life is an inspiration. Music, travel, people. And oh, Ali is saying yes, yes, yes. You better say yes. No, he's my king. So alhamdulillah, he's also my inspiration.
MashaAllah, you both are great, MashaAllah.
مشان ما أكل أتلي.
لا, you are both great. I know Ali, يعني أنا هيك not that much. I met him maybe two or three times, but mashallah, for sure he's professional like you.
Honestly, you introduced us like in a like you just put me there. You put me in that path. Like I'm thinking if I went to a different university and I haven't been to the sustainable summer school, I wouldn't have done that. Honestly, so I think your friend Zaid has joined. So I think
he joined too late.
A lot.
Yes. He joined too late actually, but it's fine.
Also, I wanted to ask you, like, what would be like a good way to pursue different, for example, if I don't want it to continue, if I tried into fit out and I didn't like it, for example, and that happens, honestly, especially with bad experiences, bad bosses. Would you feel like, would you say that when the person is discouraged, they must give up? Or what do they exactly have to do if they don't like the field after they graduate?
Well, the experience that they are exposed to it will judge, you know. It varies, it depends again. But if they had a bad experience and they still believe in themselves, in their self, that they can do something better, don't give up. This is normal. Sometimes I feel down. I feel like I'm not able to perform. I feel my outcome is not like the last week, which is normal in life. You know, we always have these ups and downs. But again, since the beginning, if you believe yourself that you can do something, or you see yourself a future designer, never give up. We will have a lot of, you know, we will be exposed to a lot of experience in life. Not all of our experience might be successful. Not all of our experience might meet our expectation. This is normal in life. We should always stand up and keep trying. Personally, I think the bad experience that we exposed to it in life will teach us a lot. And this is the real school in life, actually. This is the real school, is the experience that we have in life. So normally, you have to always try to stand up and take another chance. If you feel yourself you cannot anymore continue in this field, just try something else. I know so many students that they change their field or the direction. It's not because they are fed up, but maybe they want to try something new. For example, my wife, she's a chemist,
Oh,
but she's running a business today. Yes.
That is
and yeah, you can see that I'm a very complicated formula. She was the only one who was able to develop my formula.
She created chemistry.
Yes.
Unintended.
So this is one of the examples that I'm living with in my house here, actually. She changed totally her direction of work. So, but again, she believes in herself that she has potential, she can do something. But again, she's still doing research, she's doing reading in her in the domain that she loves since the beginning. So it depends, actually. I love your smile, Dina.
Sorry?
Dina is here sending smiley faces.
The Sunday smiles. That's true. Yeah, because of the chemistry, it was just like, it was a good example. I actually, I feel like I switched away from interior design projects, and I've been taking like a different load. Like, it's still interior design, but I don't know if you've noticed that, and I still feel ashamed. Honestly, I'm being very open with you and everybody here. I feel ashamed that I'm not taking as many projects as other designers are, because I am busy doing courses, doing things like that, YouTube videos, Instagram posts. Like, content creation takes such a long time. Do you have any advice for me? The imposter syndrome is real.
Well, see, I'll tell you something, Asil. Keep going with what you are doing, because you are doing well and you are doing great. But maybe because the direction of your content is more oriented to education, I can see even from your follower or from the question that you always, sometimes I go live with you and I see the live that you're doing. Most of them are students, are still, you know, new in the domain. They want to explore, they want to learn from you. I think it's all a matter of content. Maybe you can little bit orient the content in a different direction, a little bit. Again, I'm not. I'm just advising, you know, because mashallah, you have the skills. You just orient it a little bit and change maybe this direction, and you can easily start communicating with the market because you have the base, you have the background, which is very strong.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your advice. I'll take your advice as well. I'll see how I can direct it into the educational field. I had a question right now. I read it in the comment. It went up, but they said that if you left the interior design field, and I get that question also a lot, especially with mothers getting pregnant, you know, taking a year off, 2 years off. So if you left the field for a while, how can you come back? Or how do you feel like is the best way to slide back into the career path?
Yeah. See, this is something that is normal in life. Some people, they have, for any reason, a certain time to stop and then they come back. Start from your close friends or close people who you know very well. Try to learn from them, try to get closer to them, learn from what they have learned, because maybe your friends will be more ready and open to give you their experience rather than going directly to the market. Nobody will be patient to teach you there in the market. Start from the close group to you, your friends. If you have designers and maybe if you can follow some people like Asil and others in the internet that they have this experience and influencer. And then gradually, of course, you have to be patient. Nothing will be back so fast. Then gradually from there you can start connecting to their surrounding, and you grow your circle more and more. So I always like this example, you know, and I tell it to my colleagues. Those famous players, when they started to play, the football player or basketball player, they started to play in their you know, in their towns, in their alleys, in their under their buildings, and then they explored the club of that city, and from that city they went to the national team, and then from the national team they went to the internationalism. This is how things happen actually in life.
I'm gonna steal that metaphor from you, if that's okay.
That's a formula developed by Rawia.
Oh wow, okay, I'll quote you and Rawia every time I use it.
Thank you.
Okay, Rose Aziz, she has a question as well. So what is the project that you are ambitious to do and you didn't do it yet? I want to know too.
Oh my God.
Can you share with us?
Yes, we all have, of course, ambitions and we have goals in life. I like to travel more and explore the world more. So I twisted to get the answer.
Okay.
No, honestly, I like to travel and explore the world. I like to learn from designers from different regions in the world. This is very essential to learn from others. Because I'm doing my Ph.D. in UK now. I met in 2019, before the lockdown, I met some student in the Ph.D. and master there. The way they think about design is totally different than the way we think. Of course, I like to explore new projects that I never done before, maybe bigger projects. That's normal in life. We always seek to develop ourselves. And definitely in career, yes, I always like to have more and more clients and connection, and to create my own, let's say, maybe company in the future. Inshallah.
We will see that. We're all following your journey as well. So I have a question from Ali. What is your advice for someone who wants to join the academia in design? I'm asking for a friend. That friend is him, by the way. He has his master's degree, but he's thinking about also a PhD. What do you think about that? How can you choose the right program, for example? I know it's a little bit more advanced, but...
So if I understand the question, he did his master and He's looking for PhD.
PhD. How do you find the right program for interior design or architecture or like, artistic field?
Yeah, of course, that depends on your budget, on your plan. Where do you want to do it? You can do it in Europe, in US, in Canada. All these things are important to put in mind in UK. UK and US, to me, I consider they are the best places to approach universities in interior and architecture. Of course, in architecture, maybe you can find more in Europe. But if we are talking about an interior design, US and UK are considered the easiest path to approach universities that they offer programs in interior. Let's hope Ajman University will work on that in the future, inshallah. We have a plan to, inshallah, develop something in the future for interior design.
Exciting. That's so cool. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see the university growing and becoming a bigger establishment. Inshallah, like it becomes always like the best university ever.
Yeah, inshallah.
Also, what do you think about people who, I have a lot of people who self-learn interior design. I want to ask you, is it possible? Because I get that question too. And what do you think about that, Andrew?
Sorry, what I think about what?
Self-learning interior design.
Self-learning interior design, yes.
So for people who don't have to join a university or to get a scholarship or,
Actually, we have so many good cases of self-learner in interior design, and they achieve very nice outcomes. I don't recall their names, but from time to time I see on social media that there are some people that they are really presenting something interesting. One of our colleagues who also graduated from Ajman University, before he joined us, he was with a diploma and he was running his own company. So this is one of a great example of self-learning. He was a self-learner in interior design. It's not hard, but again, you might find someone who's very professional in the stock market, but never studied that in university. By practice, he became professional in the stock and this type of business. It's the same in interior design. You practice, you read, you explore, you make always, you participate always in conference, webinars, online courses. You can help to develop yourself. Again, this is an advice to the student also. Don't stop your learning in the university only. Try to explore more, try to learn from ASIL, try to learn from other websites that they are offering online courses. So be open to all opportunities in life and take the challenge. This is the most important thing.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you for mentioning that. I do that too, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think just like you said before, you said university education gives you the keys. So it's kind of like neatly bundled keys, put in front of you versus you finding all of the keys all over the place, but still will find the keys, right, to different doors.
Definitely, yes.
One more question I have for you. What do you think of like specializing in like a very, very specific niche in design? So let's say kitchen design or bathroom design. What do you think about people who pursue like one thing?
Well, actually, nowadays in the market, this is one of the most critical things. Nowadays in the market, you have to be specialized. The competition is very high. The market is full of companies, full of designers, full of architects, full of everything. So how to be iconic, how to be distinguished, and how to present something different than the others. Being specialized in a very niche or certain area in interior design, I think it will bring you to a higher level in the market. It's not easy. See, I'm always against this. If you meet some designer, they say, I do everything. I can do any project. I can do any type of render. This is not true. It's very hard to find someone who can do everything. Yeah. Always, it's an advice to the student, even in the graduation project. Try to be specialized in a small project. Put all your effort there. Put all your knowledge there. Learn from your instructor, from others, from the market, from the internet, from website, and try to come up with something very iconic or unique. Don't go for huge projects. the space or the big space will not show that you are professional at all. If you do big spaces in your project, you will miss so many details. No, maybe one room or 2-3 rooms might be with full details, might bring you to a higher level. So again, back to the question, yes, it's very important to be specialized. Like kitchen design is becoming very famous nowadays domain. I see so many people are interested in this area. Green design, minimalist design, those type of styles, and applying it at certain, type of interior design project like residential or commercial. This is the trend nowadays. So definitely, yes, I agree, and I encourage you guys to be specialized in certain areas.
100%. I have read the book. It's called The One-Page Marketing Plan. If you guys are watching this, 100% go for that book. It's incredible. It teaches you all about marketing. But he was also talking about the point that you said, that everything is so saturated at this day and age that you are 100% correct. Like, you need to specialize to stand out. Otherwise, you're just another, drop in the ocean. And this works as well for interior design student. I love how you brought it into the graduation project, because we never thought about it that way when, we were students. So thank you so much for sharing that. One last question, is that okay? Or are we running out of time?
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
So, okay. I get this question as well. It's one of the frequently asked questions as well. So I'm trying to, condense them because you have, mashallah, too much experience, and I would like to learn how to answer them, and I would like my followers also to see it. So if you are just freshly graduating, would you go for freelancing or would you go for a job, like a proper job? Which path is the best path to, grow as a person?
Well, that's a good question. I personally prefer to go for a job, not freelance, because as you were saying in the beginning, you remember in the beginning of our discussion, we do a lot of mistakes, especially when you graduate. So when you do those mistakes with a team or with some people who are surrounding you, more expertise and professional than you, they can help you to overtake these mistakes and run a better experience. Learn from your mistakes, and rather than doing a freelance and doing mistakes there, you will pay the bill alone, and you will pay a big bill there. No, do it with a company. They know that you are still fresh graduate. They know that you will do a lot of mistakes. They will give you a responsibility based on your experience, and by time, once you develop, you feel confident, you can start running your own business and work.
I love the answer. Yes, all the way. A job and experience different jobs. I was in IKEA. I was in a fit-out company before that. And I also taught in Ajman University. And because of that, I got to know that I like teaching. Teaching was like one of the things that I enjoyed. So yeah, I think you figure a lot about yourself when you go into different jobs. And yes, you'll have bad bosses, you have terrible coworkers, and you will hate your life some days. But by the end of the day, it all shapes you as a person. So yeah, take any job you can and any opportunity. I 100% agree with you.
Yes, definitely.
I just want to thank you so much for this honor. If you want to expand on any topic or anything, do you want to?
No, it's fine. I just wanna ask you something before you end.
Of course, anything.
Yeah. How do you see that the future of interior design will be, or how do you expect the future of interior design from your point of view?
Honestly, for the future of interior design, I think, people are going towards, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think people are going into DIY a lot, and they're learning to develop their environments by themselves, especially with TikTok on the rise. I don't know if you have TikTok, but there are a lot of talented designers who never studied interior design to begin with. And you go to their profiles and they renovate their entire homes. And that alone encouraged me to, you know, own a drill and start doing work in my home because I didn't want to go outside and grab. So I think DIY would be big. And I think that people will request interior designers help more. I think it's on the rise. The job career, like the careers of interior design are on the rise. It's not falling down, and the people are requesting designers. So honestly, if you want to join interior design, you're not sure whether you're going to get a job or if you're going to get a client in the future, don't have that fear, don't have that doubt, just go with it. This is, for me, this is how it's going to go. But I would like to ask you the same question. So I'm going to play the Uno reverse card. What do you think is the future of design?
Yeah. See, I think what you answered is very accurate, and it's very close to what I was going to say. It's a growing market, and there is a big demand on this domain in the future, I think. And referring back to the earlier question, you have to be specialized. You have to look at certain, niche in interior design and develop yourself there. The competition definitely is high, and it's growing day by day. But you are not requested to do everything again in interior design. If you love it, just do it, or any other major again. And nothing will stop this domain, I think, to have, or nothing will stop you to have clients or projects. This is normally in life. You will be exposed to different experience. I recall at the time of the lockdown, there was some papers talking about the future of the buildings after the lockdown, because most of the people started to work remotely. After this experience in 2 years, I think we cannot run our life remotely. It's an option, but we cannot run. We still need the office, we still need the school, we still need the university, we still need the structure. We are not robots. Eventually we can run from remotely. No, it's an option that it can be kept in our life, but no, by time passing, I feel like, and even from what I'm reading on papers, that there is a great demand for the interior design in the future, inshallah.
And competition is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, right? Because you don't want to feel. You don't want to start something that nobody started before. You actually want to get inspired from other people and build on their ideas. And yes, give them credit. But at the same time, competition is always a good thing. So don't shy away from it, right?
Yes, definitely. It's normal. Life without competition is meaningless.
True. Yeah. I just want to tell you thank you so much. I'm really, really honored to have you. I think the comment section froze for me. I don't know if you can see it, by the way, but it froze for me. Yeah. I'm stuck at Ali's advice was the last one. So.
Okay. No, it's still going. It's still going. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something on live right now. When you close the video, can you save the video, please? I would like to
come again.
Share it if you would like.
Yeah, normal. Yeah, fine. Go ahead. Yeah.
Please just save it when you close the live. Just please save it after your permission, so we can spread all of the information you said. You said very valuable things, and I would like to have it, permanently on my account. After your permission.
Sure, yes. Yeah, of course, yes. It's my pleasure. I'll be happy to do so.
Thank you, Professor.
I'm sorry if we missed some questions for some people who were asking, but we tried to cover the maximum we can. I don't know.
Questions, because mine are completely frozen.
Okay. Let me just check. I don't want to, I love to answer everybody. I don't know who's Sophie saying I got inspired. Yeah, I'm inspired by you all, guys. Thank you. What makes or breaks a project in your view, right?
Okay. That's a great question, actually.
Yeah, what makes or breaks a project in you? What makes project actually is to be a committed person, of course. You have to be honest, parallel to your creativity. You have to be smart. You have to deal with your project as a business also. What breaks it is, not being honest, promising with things that you cannot do. Never do this in interior design. Don't promise your client. Don't raise their expectations.
Under promise, over deliver. That's the golden rule.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes, exactly. What tools in hand you have, just work based on that and show it clearly. You don't have to hide or say, no, I know everything. Again, this will break your project and
Trust.
your reputation in the market and trust. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And communicate everything, I think. Right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I think here we stop. The rest are highs and joins. Thank you very much, Asil. I really appreciate it. And
3 more questions that I saw in the questions bar. So do you want to say, like, do you regret anything related to your personal work? Do you have any
regret? No, usually no. I was talking about the mistakes. We learn from mistakes. Yeah, I never feel something, and nothing to feel sorry about in your work or to regret, because these are all things that you can recover, and you only regret or you feel sorry if you somehow lost your health. This is something that you cannot return it back. But anything in life, money, work, these are all things that you can stand again and do it in life.
True. I do have some regrets. Can I share
Really?
them? I hate I didn't document all of my projects professionally. I hate that I didn't have a photographer for every project. And I hate that in university, I did not document all of my work. What kind of idiot was that? It's just so sad because I have some good work and I lost it.
Yes,
so,
yes.
But
I still have some of your works. I will share it with you once we'll back to the office next week.
Really?
Yeah, let me try to check in my office. Really, yeah. I still have for your batch. I have some more.
Oh my God! Thank you. You're gonna share it with me, please. I'm desperate.
Yeah.
The other question was, while on diploma course, we only work on one single project, so there isn't enough to make a portfolio. What do you think about that? How can they develop a portfolio when it comes to students?
Yeah. See, usually developing a portfolio nowadays in most of the university is becoming a short course. Like, for example, in Ajman University, we have the Career Service Center. They help the student to develop their portfolio and their resume and CV. This is something important to do it, especially when you are very close to your graduation. You start to approach the market. Look at different templates online. You have so many apps and application and website online that can help you develop your portfolio. Don't underestimate your projects and your work that you did in the university, because this is the first step in the market. How you will introduce yourself to the market from your projects that you have done in the university. I always advise my students, try to do your project and deal with it as a professional. You are designer from day one. You joined the domain. You are a designer, so try to be professional and deal with your project in this way. So going into technicality, going into details, also will raise the level of your project. And definitely learning how to present and promote yourself is a good skills. We lack a lot the presentation. Maybe we don't have much of Asil in our region. People usually they avoid going online, they avoid doing presentation, they avoid showing. It's important to do presentation, to practice, to break this fear of presentation. This also will help you in bringing clients in the future and being convincing to your client.
That's 100% true. Thank you so much, Professor. And I really appreciate you joining the first, or thank you for also making me join, because it's where I count still. And I just want to wish you all the best in all of your career choices, and inshallah you'll always have the best growth. And we are so honored to have a mentor like you. So thank you for being passionate and for liking what you do. That's the most important thing.
Thank you very much. I was really happy, and thanks to all audience. It was a great, talk with you, Asil, and all the best to you also. I'm sure you will always shine and towards more and more success. I'm sure, mashallah, you are great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I hope you all have a great night ahead. And let us know. You can always message Dr. Taher if you want, or you can message me if you have any additional questions. Okay. So thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Professor. Have a lovely evening.
You too. Thank you, Asif. Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. Please save the life. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, sure.